Brian Powell of iRun Far here with Andy Wacker before the 2017 IAU Trail World Championships. How are you, Andy?
Doing great.
Last time we spoke was back in the summer of 2015 when you were second at the U.S. Mountain Running Championships. What have you been up to since then? You raced pretty decently.
Yeah. Oh, that's been a while. Let's wrap up things. I ran at the World Mountain Running Champs last year. We got a gold medal. That was pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Won a U.S. Trail Half Champs.
Patton.
Yep, Lake Patton. And, God, what else? Did a lot of things. Some cross-country races.
Did you do the long-distance mountain running as well?
Yeah, last year did long-distance mountain running. Had to drop out, unfortunately, because I got, the worst stomach bug ever. And,
really?
I'm already like a human skeleton and lost 10 pounds last year, which was not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know last weekend you were fourth at the U.S. Mountain Running Championships to qualify for yet another U.S. squad. Did that sort of kick off your season, or what were you up to before then?
Yeah, so I kind of do a lot of different genres of running, and this year my big goal was to make 3 U.S. teams for trail and mountain, and I did that. So I made the U.S. mountain running team, the long distance mountain running championships, and then the IAU 50K World Championships. So I've been gearing up for a big summer trail season, and it started off with the Sky Race in China. So I just ran in May in Yading.
The Yading Sky Race. You were second to Bim, which is pretty easy to do. He's a stud out there on the high mountains.
Yeah, it was a great tune-up, and I think I just felt a little like I had a great. It was mostly a climb, and I had a great climb actually, and it was kind of had a good lead, and just took the downhill too easy and was feeling the altitude. It was at like 15,500 feet, and so I was feeling a little dizzy on the downhill and taking it really slow, and he just came bombing down. So. Yeah, not a bad guy to lose to at that altitude.
So you had a little problem with the descent there. You said the descent at U.S. Mountain Running Championships beat you up a little bit. You have about 10,000 feet of descent on Saturday. Are you worried about that at all, or
not here? I think now, again, China was a good tune-up. That was the point of it, and it's a lot easier at sea level or 3,000 feet than it is at 15,000 feet. And U.S. mountain running is very extreme, ups and downs, good, really big climbs up Black Diamonds, really big descents down Black Diamonds and through trees and stuff. So definitely warmed up for it now, which is great, and right where I want to be for this weekend, which looks a lot more rolling comparatively to something like Cranmore.
And, I mean, you have 2 weeks apart. You have a very short race in terms of distance and times at Cranmore, and you have this. Did you prepare specifically toward the short, sharp stuff, or I think this will be your longest race ever, right?
Yeah, I've done 150K, so this is
but
definitely
less time.
Yep, exactly. So I've been training a lot more for this, to be honest. Okay. So I was way more worried about Cranmore. That's more my background, I'd say, like with shorter races and the more fast stuff like Cranmore. But I was worried going into it just to be been doing a lot of endurance hill climbs that last an hour as opposed to a whole race that's only 45 minutes or 50 minutes long where you're just going psycho.
So yeah, I mean, that's more compatible with your history coming from cross country and that sort of thing, and some great half marathons in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
But have you run any other races besides the Tamalpa headlands that have been over 2 hours?
Oh yeah. So a couple of years ago, I got second in the World Mountain Running Long Distance Championships, and it was the Zermatt Marathon.
Okay.
Yep. So that was about 3 hours, and then I've run. Well, the race I just did in China was only a 30K, but since the altitude was so long, it took a little over 3 hours. And then, I've run.
Tamalpa was 340 or that sort of
330, yeah. And then I also ran Jungfrau.
So you have some experience.
I really think the 3.5 hour is definitely my wheelhouse. So this race, expecting to be somewhere in the 3 to 4 hour, range.
You think folks are going to go under 4 hours on this course?
I mean, we'll see, but it looks pretty runnable. I know there's tons of vert, but I think for the distance, I mean, even if it's 4 hours, it's definitely a good amount of, and it's good for me. Yeah, I'm not super experienced in 5-hour races or 6-hour races.
But you're not trepidatious about 4 hours.
Not at all. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to in this race?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go check out the course today, so I'll see more of that. But just being here, I mean, it's beautiful, and it's a really good rolling course. It looks great. I think it's going to be really good for our team and for me personally. So.
Yeah, I mean, in some years, like last year, the U.S. men's team didn't have a great run at the Trail World Championships, but there's plenty of potential. And I mean, you guys won gold at the mountain running championships last year. Yeah. What do you think sort of the upside is potential for this U.S. squad?
Oh, I think we have a really good team. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So we have a lot of good guys, a lot of good experience, and this is really, I think it's pretty unique because for the Ultra Champs, it's usually around 85K, maybe more like a 50-mile race. And this year it's 50K. So you get different people like me who wouldn't usually be on the team. And I think it's good just because we have a lot of really fast people. So coming from it for an ultra championships, we have a really fast team for a 50K race. I think that's a good sign, and a lot of people can really run.
Now, have you guys talked about team strategy at all? Because like, I mean, from my personal perspective, I don't think like, you know, 3 guys have to go out and have their 100% race. I think you can like run a strong race and do really well from that regard, rather than just, you know, throwing it and trying to see if it sticks.
Yeah, we haven't talked strategy yet. You know, we're all just basically gathering here today.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday before the race. But personally, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think just with my experience of who I know on the team, I think it's going to go really well. I tend to race hard out front.
Yeah.
For a lot of races, especially long races, and tend to think of myself as a climber. So if we start with a nice climb, you know, once we hit that first big climb, I'm imagining I'll be near the front, and so I think it will be nice because there will be other people on our team who will be with me or.
I mean, like Hayden runs sort of aggressively.
Specifically, Hayden is definitely like that, and so it'll be nice. And David, you know, lots of people who can run well and run like that. So
nice. So the team aspect is definitely important for you.
Oh yeah, I mean these teams.
Because it's hard because like you've done well individually and as a team. Like how do you? Yeah, do you look to both? Because I know in cross country sometimes people do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the nice thing is it is like cross country or like any other of these team running sports where you want to do well in both, and doing well individually helps your team. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, I always want to help the team the most we can. You know, like winning that team gold is more important than anything else.
Really? So does that mean running a little bit more conservatively or?
Not necessarily. No. I mean, I think, sometimes there are strategies where you say, like, it will help if I run with this person for this amount or something like that, or I don't, like, blow up because it's not just me doing this on my own. But, you know, for me, it's usually a balance, and I think you run your best, no matter, you know, to run your best, that's how you're going to help the team the best. So.
Totally. And now that you've had a little bit more experience at this long-distance stuff, like, what does your nutrition plan look like for a, 3 to 4 hour race?
Yeah, well, it's always a hard question. I'm definitely the bonk king. Like, I just bonk all the time on these long races. And I think it's just one of those things that's really difficult to deal with. And especially for me personally, I'm so skinny. And I've tried a lot of different things. And it's really easy to bonk still.
So you haven't quite figured that out yet. It's still an experiment.
I mean, exactly. But I think for me personally, I've been doing a lot of stuff just in training to figure it out. And I think a lot of it is the training. So instead of doing something like where if I'm coming from a road and a cross-country background where you're used to running like a 20-mile run at sub 6-minute pace, that's a lot different than that slow granny gear that you need to have for a lot of these trail races. So I've been doing a lot of this strength endurance stuff where the training for long 5-hour runs through the snow in Colorado, that gets you ready, I think.
So you've been going out and doing some really long stuff over the winter.
Yeah, definitely. And I was training for the US 50K champs, which was a formidable 50K in February. Unfortunately, I had to DNF, had a huge slash in my knee. I had to get 8 stitches. But for things like that, it was kind of fun because usually in the winter you're not getting up in the high mountains in Colorado. But I was trying it out. I was doing some skimo stuff. Ended up running some 13ers near me that are really slow in the winter, I found out. But it's really fun, beautiful, and challenging when you're in waist-deep snow for half of it or running on.
So even though you are doing 20 milers at 6-minute pace, like you also enjoy the slogging through the snow at 13,000 feet?
I think it's good to do both, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So you do both, and you train with the nutrition you're going to have. I'm sponsored by Scratch Labs. I love that stuff. And, take gels and those kind of things too, or whatever you want. Bring a bagel on the run, like something to keep you going. But
now, do those long adventures have you thinking about doing more 50Ks and even, toward the 50-mile distance at all?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be open-minded in the sport. And I've been hesitant to go over marathon or 50K distance before. Again, this is my second 50K.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely more open-minded to it in the future.
But you also,
Maybe
it's
not
hard because
next-
you still have success at the the mountain running,
Yeah.
short distance.
So maybe not like a 50 miler in the next 6 months, we'll say,
Yeah.
but in the future, for
it's
sure.
not. It's not a. It could happen sometime. soon.
Yeah, and something like, especially like, I mean, who knows? I won't put it out there yet, but like something like North Face, where you're on those trails in Marin, something that's more my style, faster. It's not like a 24-hour 50-mile race. That's maybe something that would interest me.
But
in
a
the future.
fast runnable 50 mile.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck here at 50K first, and have fun out there.
Thanks.